Good afternoon, everyone. Not sure if everybody's actually in here or not. I see that I got a few viewers in here, and I know I'm starting a little bit before the 4 o'clock. So I know some people are going to be jumping in, but what I think I'm just going to do with you guys is just go through these two questions. It's going to be using the quadratic formula, which I'm pretty sure everybody's going to feel comfortable using, but I figured I'd go through it, do a couple, make sure you guys feel good, and then we could call it quits. And I think I only got 2 questions. I just want to do number 3 and number 5, and that's it. So I'm going to start right with number 3. Quadratic formula is what we're looking at. Oh my gosh, my wife wants me to play the song for you guys. I don't want to play the song right now. So, I think didn't we play it one time in class? I think I found like the Taylor Swift one or something like that. I might have played it last year for you guys, the Taylor Swift version of the quadratic formula. Or Justin Bieber, I don't remember what we did. But we have x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So what we're looking to do is just plug everything into that formula, solve it out, figure out what our x's are, and be done. So in this case, we have our 3 numbers over here. We have our a, we have our b, we have our c. We just need to plug them in. Remember, when you guys substitute them in, it is only the numbers. You are not substituting in x's at all. So we're just going to plug in 1, 3, and 1. So if we substitute in, I'm going to have x equals negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 3 squared minus 4 times 1 times 1. So in this case, it's just going to be all over 2 times 1. Sorry, forgot to put in the denominator. So in this case, we're going to have x equals negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 9 minus 4 all over 2. And this one I kept very, very brief because I just wanted to make sure you guys remembered how to use that formula, because we haven't done it in a while in Math 12. And we can simplify it down. In this case, we can't break that down anymore because square root of 5 cannot be simplified. We don't have to worry about any imaginary numbers like we did yesterday in number 4 for this one, because we didn't have any negatives under the square root. Okay? So we're just using that quadratic formula today. So I'm just doing 2 of them with you guys. On the homework, you can choose to use quadratic formula for that one question on the second page, and I'll slip into the homework after I finish this last question on the lesson. Okay? So if you're joining me a little late, all I did is I went to question number 3 in the lesson that we did yesterday. Just did a quick refresher with quadratic formula. I'm going to do another one with quadratic formula down in number 5. Now, in number 5, it says you can use either method. I'm just going to write down a little note off to the side to help you guys out. Only use completing the square when, that's not how you spell square, when a equals 1. If a is any other number, use quadratic formula. So in this particular problem that we're about to do, we're going to have a is equal to 2, b is equal to negative 5, and c is equal to 67. As soon as you see that a value is not 1, we want to do quadratic formula. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here just so you guys can see what I'm substituting into. I'm going to paste it, so we're just using that formula again. So only use completing the square when a is equal to 1. We're not going to use it for this one. We're just going to plug it into the formula. So if we plug this in, we're going to have x equals negative 5 plus or minus the square root. I might have to do a little bit more room here. Let me move everything over for a second. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to fit it. We're going to have negative 5 squared minus 4 times 2 times 67 all over 2 times 2. We got to simplify what's underneath that radical. So, well, the outside negative 5 is just going to be a positive 5 plus or minus the square root of 25. What's 8 times 67? So on the inside, it looks like we're going to have minus 536 all over 4. Now I can simplify that inside more. If I do 25 minus that 536, I'm going to get negative 511. Oops. All over 4. And now we just have to try to simplify it. I don't believe we're going to be able to do anything with 511. I bet you 511 is going to be a prime number. If you're unsure if 511 has factors or not, you guys can do that calculator trick that I showed you where you can go to y equals. And I mean, you're going to have to use your iPad calculator unless you have one at your house. So I'm just going to type in 511 divided by x. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at the table now. And I'm going to start right at 0. So let me blow up my calculator so it's a little bit easier. I'm going to start right at 0, and I'm going to scroll down to see if there's any factors. So I was wrong. 511 is not a prime number. There is a number that works. You can use 7 and 73. But 73 can't be broken down anymore. There's nothing you can multiply to get 73. So I'm going to scroll down even more to see if there's anything else I can multiply, and it's not going to happen. So since we cannot find any other factors that work, we are allowed to just leave it as that 511. Oh, boot me out. So we are okay to leave it as 511. We just have to make sure we're not allowed to have that negative in there. So when we go to simplify this last step, we have to make sure that negative disappears. And anytime we have a negative underneath a square root, we just have to remember that square root of a negative number is imaginary. So we have to put the I on the outside. 511 can't be broken down as we just said, so that's still on the inside. And we're still left with a 4 on the bottom. That would be the solution to this problem. So I'm going to zoom out so we can see that whole thing. But for you guys, it's a very, very brief lesson today. Very brief. I think I only went for 10 minutes, but that's it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up the homework again just so you guys are aware of what you need to do for the homework. If you guys have any questions with this, just let me know and I could jump back. As far as the homework you guys have, I pointed it out yesterday, just pointing it out again just so everybody's aware. I'm not sure if everybody was here yesterday. The first page is pretty much the same stuff that we did from lesson 1. And then when you get to the second page, number 7 was from lesson 1. 8, 9, those are just regular factoring problems. Number 10, I told you to use the quadratic formula, which is what we just went over. And number 11, I told you guys to cross off. So don't worry about doing number 11. And that is it. Only other question I have for you guys, and this is a good question to ask because there's not a lot of you guys in here, but has any other teachers tried to contact you? Because I'm meeting with, tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I have a meeting with the entire high school staff, And what we're going to do is talk about any students that we're having trouble connecting with. And everything that I've done so far, I pretty much have been able to connect with all of you guys in some way, shape, or form, whether it's been email, if it's been here on Twitch. Some of you guys have joined my Zoom channel already. The Zoom stuff, I'll tell you guys more about next week because that's part of the meeting tomorrow. We were just kind of testing it. Mrs. Woe wants to do it. Does she want to do Zoom, Denasius? Is that what you're saying? Because Zoom is going to probably be what everybody's going to be doing at some point. I'm only going to use Zoom for office hours. I'm going to keep using Twitch, though, because I think doing the videos this way is going to be a little bit easier than Zoom. Zoom allows you guys to talk during the lesson, and I think it's going to slow down. It's going to slow down everything that we're doing, and I don't want to slow down the lessons anymore. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I thought you were talking about. Do you guys have any questions with me? Are you guys trying to get a hold of anybody? Yeah, I agree, Emily. It's so much easier this way. I can just kind of go at my own pace. If you guys have a question, you can respond, and then you can just send me emails if you got questions. The only other thing that I got a question with, is there anybody here that is in desperate need of paper copies because they cannot, for whatever reason, maybe not have Wi-Fi, can't get iTunes to work? Because that's another thing we're going to bring up in the meeting tomorrow. If you're in desperate need of paper copies so you guys can get your work done, I can add your name to the list and I'll send it to Mr. B. And I don't know if any of you guys have been getting lunches or dinners from the school, but they're going to deliver the paper copies the same way. I know some teachers have been helping out. Some people from the bus garage who's been working the buses have been making deliveries. If you listen to that message that Mr. Crandall sent out, they send it out to the parents. I don't know if you guys get them on your phones, but I mean, we've been doing a lot. I think Mr. T sent out an email the other day. I got my email up on my other computer, and he says, let's see here. He said that we were able to send out dinners. We put over, holy cow. He said today, so Monday, we packed and delivered over 700 meals to everybody in Silver Creek. And then today he said he packed up over 1,000 meals to be delivered. So, I mean, we're trying to reach you guys as much as we can. It's really cool. I mean, it's tough to say. This is all like devastating what's happened, but it really seems like the community's kind of coming together with this. And you hate to say that it takes like something like this to bring us all together, but it's really cool to see how Silver Creek is really coming together as one. So I don't know. That's I'm gonna end it there though, because like I said, I don't like making these videos go on forever. I just kind of like, I guess in this case, like listening to myself talk. Keep me posted if you guys have any questions. Keep me posted if you guys need paper copies or anything. We will try to deliver them to you as much as we can and as fast as we can. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to start going into like the beginning of lesson 3. Again, I'm not going to do anything crazy. It's going to be pretty short again. Alyssa, as far as this homework for lesson 2, I'm going to put it on to Shobi and say it's due tomorrow at 9 p.m. But again, just please remember, I keep saying this on repeat, those are not like mandatory like due dates. So, I mean, just turn it in when you can. Turn it in when you can. A lot of the stuff that we're putting in, they're just going to be going in as participation grades. So as long as you turn it in, I'm still going to grade it because obviously you guys want to make sure that you're doing what you're doing. It's been tough these last few days. I still haven't even been able to open my Shobi to start grading yet. So I'm going to start probably doing that tomorrow afternoon. So you're going to start seeing little things in your show be coming up saying that I graded, and I'll leave little notes. But for you guys, because it's Math 12, I'm just trying to give you a little bit of math here and there to help you guys out for next year. Luckily for you guys, nobody in here needs the math credit, so we should be okay. But all right, well, I am gonna sign off. When does jeez, Emily, that is a question I will ask tomorrow, and then I'll get back to you because I don't know if Alyssa, you said April 8th. I think that is the correct day. I don't know if that's still going to be the correct day with everything going on. Every school's doing something different, and I haven't met with the high school teachers yet, so I don't know what our school's doing. Like my wife just said her school, their third quarter isn't even going to count, it sounds like. So I don't know. I don't know. So my wife's having a meeting tomorrow about it. I'm having a meeting tomorrow about it. Once I find out more, I'll update you guys. All right. All right. So on that note, I will sign off. Definitely stop by tomorrow. We'll start lesson 3. And then my wife and I are going to play some games tomorrow night. So you guys are more than welcome to stop by and check that out. We're going to do some more interactive games so you guys can get involved too. But otherwise, have a good night, guys, and I'll talk to you all soon.